Word to your mother, my name's Steve, this channel is Frags to Riches. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're doing a review on a fragrance that I've had well over a month and I should have reviewed ages ago, so I've kind of missed the boat if I'm honest. But I'll do it anyway. It is the new release from Yves Saint Laurent and it's in the Nuit De L'Homme line. I've not done many of those videos, have I? It is the new one, Bleu Electrique. Before I get into what this fragrance actually smells like, I'm going to tell you the good news is that this smells like the original Nuit De L'Homme. The bad news is this smells like the original Nuit De L'Homme. So before I tell you what I get from this fragrance personally, here's the notes as listed on Fragrantica. At the top there's cardamom, which this line is very much well known for. There's ginger, there's bergamot. In the mid there's lavender and geranium, and in the base there's cedar and vetiver. Now strictly speaking, this does vary slightly from the original Nuit De L'Homme that we all know and love. That one has cardamom listed as the only note at the top. In the mids there's lavender, Virginia cedar and bergamot, and in the base there's vetiver and caraway. So strictly speaking, the note profile is a little bit different, but as I said earlier, this very much smells like the original to me. So I decided to blind buy this fragrance because it was getting a lot of love with regards to smell as well as the performance. And the final thing that pushed me over the edge to go for a blind buy was Clement CC Fragrance, who's a YouTuber and Instagrammer. She was on the Scent Geeks podcast with me and she said how much she liked it, and I really respect her opinion, so fuck it, I thought I'd pull the trigger. And I got a really good price on this, actually, importing it from France, so I was really pleased. I'm not sure if it's actually released in the UK as yet, but yeah, I got a really good deal getting it in from France. And when it arrived, I was really excited to smell it, and you know what, I wasn't disappointed. I was really pleased. It smelled straight away. I recognised it as Nuit De L'Homme, and yeah, I was really chuffed. Not gonna lie, that happiness, excitement did diminish slightly over time. Probably like the sort of post-coital shame that my wife no doubt feels when I try and cuddle her afterwards. The reason I'm in two minds about this fragrance is because although it does smell really good, and it genuinely does, I don't think many people would dislike this fragrance at all, it does smell a lot like the original. So I'll try and break down the subtle differences between Bleu Electrique and my 2011 batch of Nuit De L'Homme, and those differences are subtle. By the way, if you want to know how the 2011 batch that I own compares to the current formulation of Nuit De L'Homme, there's a video description, in the video description below there's a link to a video comparing 2019 batch to my 2011 batch. Ultimately, the current formulation is lighter and a bit more powdery and not quite as rich, but go and watch the video. So to compare the Bleu Electrique to my 2011 batch, I would say the Bleu Electrique name, the blue name, does kind of ring true in some aspects, because I would say this is a bit bluer, is a little bit more fresh, but ultimately that's it. I would say that the 2011 batch is kind of a little bit more mysterious and sexy, for the want of some very subjective kind of wording. It's not, because it's not as light or quite as fresh as this one, I think it's still a little bit sexier, so that probably does still work best on a date, but this one would probably work a little bit better in the office, like during the day, just because it's a little bit fresher. But yeah, ultimately there's not that much difference between the two. Somebody in one of the Facebook groups actually got a sample of this from me, and he was in complete agreement with that statement. He said, yeah, he really enjoyed it, but he's got a batch, he's got an original batch of Nuit De L'Homme, so he just doesn't really see the need to own this one and go and buy it, because there's not that much difference ultimately. And that's the gift and the curse with this fragrance, which is what I was kind of hinting at earlier. It's great that it smells like the original Nuit De L'Homme, because that is a great fragrance and it smells really good. But and I didn't want them to kind of ruin it or bastardize it, because a lot of the flankers I don't particularly enjoy. L'Intense, I just found the iris or the violet was just a bit too strong for me, and Le Parfum I was just a bit disappointed. I really enjoyed the EDP. Yeah, so Bleu Electrique I thought was all right. I just didn't think it sort of had that magic. So this one's got that magic. It smells like the Nuit De L'Homme DNA. It's got that. It's a little bit bluer, a little bit fresher, so it's kind of a bit more daytime appropriate, I guess, but you could still wear it on a date. So it's got a lot going for it, but also that's its kind of biggest fault for me, because I own the original batch, and I think ultimately I've tried, and I think the original of the batch that I have does smell slightly better. The performance on this fragrance is really good. It definitely outperforms the current formulation of Le Nuit De L'Homme, and it actually outperforms my vintage 2011 batch as well. The projection is sort of not absolute beast mode, it's sort of 1 to 2 hours of sort of moderate projection. It's perfectly noticeable, but it's not kind of choking anybody out or filling rooms or anything like that. And it does last and hang around. I was kind of getting comfortably 6-7 hours, which again for Le Nuit De L'Homme is really good. For me, the current formulation, I barely get 3 or 4 hours, and then the vintage I get sort of a little bit more, like 5 to 6. So this is outperforming it. So that is a definite win in for this fragrance in the performance category. So should you buy this fragrance, I guess is the question. And ultimately it comes down to you, your situation and your relationship with Le Nuit De L'Homme. If you are a big avid fan of the line and you want to, you know, kind of get all the different colour bottles in your collection, by all means get this because it smells great and you won't regret it. If you have got an original batch of Le Nuit De L'Homme, probably sample it first and decide if you think it's worthwhile, because I'm in an R if it is. Or if you've smelt the current formulation of Le Nuit De L'Homme and you're a bit underwhelmed and don't quite get the hype because it's not this rich cardamom bomb that everybody describes it as, then yes, this might be a better alternative to you than compared to the original formulation, because it's just a bit of a thinner version of the original. So yes, if you should buy this or not really does come down to you and your preferences. That said, I managed to get this delivered for like less than 40 quid. So I think for that price, it's an absolute bargain, and it's a great fragrance for any collection. But as I say, it very much depends on you, your relationship with Le Nuit De L'Homme, and if you own the original or any of the flankers. So there you go. I hope this video was of use and it wasn't a bit too late, because I really should have uploaded this video weeks ago, to be honest. But there you go, my bad. Thanks for watching. Do comment, like, subscribe and all that shit. And yeah, I'm trying to hit 5,000 subscribers. That's like my little goal, and I don't think it's possible by the end of the year, but fuck it, let's try. Perhaps if I upload more videos, it might happen. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you for a video soon. Take care, much love.